Welcome to week 12 Friday, you guys, for Algebra 2 semester 2. Let's go ahead and pause the video and answer the following 3 questions. So today is actually the last day of week 12. So next week when I see you guys, we're going to start off with week 13. There's no breaks there. Then you guys have week 14. And that Monday, keep in mind, is a professional development day. So you will not be here in class. So starting next week, you guys only have 6 more weeks until finals. And that's all that you have. Your safety grade is a 75%. If you show up to class and you just simply look at your cell phone or you take a nap, keep in mind you get a 55% for showing up, but you really need to have that 75% to ensure that you're going to do well on the test. It's possible you could do well on the final exam, you know, when you haven't bothered jotting anything down. But I'm just letting you know there's no curve in this class. You get what you get. After the final, you need to get at least a 60% or better to pass. So that's what I'm saying. Your safety grade should be at a 75%. All right, so what did we do last class? So this is what we talked about. We started with the new functions operations. We went over adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing functions. And then we went over composite functions, which is the introduction to pre-calculus and trigonometry. And that's what we did yesterday. Okay, so if you were not here yesterday, make sure you watch a video for week 12 Thursday, and we filled out the notes. Then I had you guys do a poster where you had to pick 3 different problems. I had a lot of you guys who turned it in, but if you have not turned that in yet, make sure you guys do so. Today is a great day for that. This weekend, make sure you guys complete your Math Excel, the 10 problems for your homework. And then also your quiz that I had you guys do on Wednesday. It's only 5 questions. Both of those grades are due Sunday by 11 p.m. And I will be updating your grades on Wednesday of next week, okay? So take a look at your YouTube channel. This is how many videos that we have at this point. There are 56 videos, and if you scroll down to the bottom, week 12 Thursday is already there. It was about 39 minutes. So if you were not here yesterday, or if you're not here for Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday of this week, you have all of the videos right there at your finger point. You just have to do them and watch them and then jot down your notes. So yeah. All right. So today we're going to go ahead and get started. Friday, we're going to continue on with function operations. This will be our second to last day on it. I'm going to carry that over to Monday as well because we're like 1 day behind. And then we're going to end the unit with inverse relationships or relations and functions. And then that's it. Next Friday will be the last day for this. I will collect your guided notes then, and I'll issue you guys your very last one, which is going to be on logarithms. Okay. And then that's it. So today, this is our agenda, week 12 Friday. It's composite function day 2, but technically 1, because yesterday we just briefly talked about it. So I'm going to give you guys a handout I'm going to have you do. This right here, it's double-sided. I'm going to have you guys do some practice problem. There's a concept map. So all you really need today is just the handout and then an iPad if you need it. So come on up and grab those 2 things if you need the iPad. The concept map is going to be due before you guys leave today, so I will be collecting that. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started with the very first part, which is right over here. So take a look at this as a quick little review from yesterday on the right side. So specifically what we're looking at is that tiny little rectangle concept map on the upper right side. and just get yourself acquainted what we did yesterday. And I have an example right there as well. Hey, how are you? Oh, here, you can sign in. Sorry, I have it right here in my hand. Thank you. All right, so now what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and take a look at composite functions. So you have like this map right here, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and work on this one right here. All right, so looking at this concept right here, so it's given to you that f of x is going to be x squared plus 2, and then that your g of x is going to be 2x, and then that your h of x is going to be x minus 1. Okay, those are the three equations you're going to be working with. If we start on the upper left-hand side, you have fog. So fog, another way of writing this is f of, and remember the baby, g of x. So the way I labeled this yesterday was you have the baby on the inside and the mom on the outside, okay? We're gonna work with the baby first. So on the inside, the baby is g of x, right? What is g of x? Well, according to this green equation, g of x is 2x. So I'm going to replace that baby with 2x. The mom is still on the outside, so you have f of 2x. So then my question to you is, what is the mom? The mom is going to be f of 2x. So you're going to go look up here. What is x, or what is f of x? It's x squared plus 2. So whenever you see an x in the yellow equation, you replace it with 2x. So in this case, it'll be 2x squared plus 2. 2x squared is really 4x squared plus 2, and that is your answer right there. I know that's kind of like a hard concept to kind of like visualize, but we're going to practice more with this, okay? But there are 3 different equations, and that's just 2 that we're using right now. And if you're like, I'm not quite sure how this works, and it's okay because we'll practice more with this. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the right side. All right, so for your right side, sorry. 1 second, this is not. Okay, so for your right side, you have g of f of x. So that's like golf. So the way that you will rewrite this is we're just gonna put g of f of x, okay? And we're gonna label it so you have the baby on the inside, and then you have the mom on the outside. So you're gonna look at the baby first because that's on the inside, okay? So what is the baby going to be? Well, f of x is the baby, and f of x, which is on the inside, is equal to x squared plus 2. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and replace the baby with f of x, and that is equal to x squared plus 2. The one that says algebra. So then what I'm going to do is every time I look at the mom, which is a g equation, which is this green equation right here, wherever that g equation has an x, you're going to replace that with x squared plus 2. You might want to grab the worksheet right here. Alex, you might want to grab that right there. So this one's 2x. So what that means is it's going to equal to 2x, and that x is going to be x squared plus 2. So you're just going to distribute this, and your answer is 2x squared plus 4. And that's your answer for golf. All right, let's take a look at the bottom left corner. So it's FOF, I guess, f of x. So for this one here, which I'm just gonna highlight it so you guys see which one we're working on, this one right there. You will rewrite that as f of x. So the baby is actually the f of x, and the mom is the outside, okay? Give me 1 second. Okay, hold on a second. Let me finish this first. What is your last name? Rest. Okay, you sign. 1? Yeah. Okay, go ahead and sign in. All right, so, and then the paper is right there, right here. So what is the baby? The baby is f of x. Well, what is f of x? That's just x squared plus 2. So when I rewrite this, the mom is still f, which is on the outside. We're going to replace the baby with x squared plus 2. So then you're still looking at the equation for f, and every time there's an x in f, you're going to replace it with x squared plus 2. It's kind of like a number inside of a number, okay? So x squared plus 2 is going to be x squared plus 2 squared, got to be very careful with that, plus 2. Oops. So that's going to require you to do a little bit of work, which is FOIL. Okay, so FOIL. So your first is going to be, and if you think about this, it's x squared plus 2 squared. So if I rewrite that, it's x squared plus 2 times x squared plus 2, because there's 2 of them. First is going to be x squared times x squared. So that's x to the 4th. Outside is going to be x squared times 2. So that's 2x squared. Inside is going to be 2 times x squared, and that's 2x squared. And last is 2 times 2, which gives you a 4. Now, you can combine the outside and the inside together, which will make it a 4x squared. So if I have to rewrite that right there, it's just x squared plus 4x squared, or I'm sorry, x to the 4th plus 4x squared plus 4. But then do you see how there is still that 2 that's hanging out right there? Can you combine that 2 with a 4 right there to make it a 6? Yeah. So your finalized answer is just x to the 4th, that's your first answer right there, plus 4x squared plus 6. And that is your answer for f of x. Some of you guys already got that. That's awesome. So then if you go to the bottom right corner, you have a fog and a gaw all together. So f of g of h of x. So there's like 3 of them all squished together. So let's give that a try. I know this is going to be interesting. So we're going to be working on this one right here. So first thing you want to write is that you know that it's going to be f of, and then a g of h of x, like that. So visually, if you can imagine, I don't even know how to write this because it's not like a baby and a baby with a mom on the outside. I guess maybe if you have like twins, but it's kind of weird. But I guess you could say there is baby 1 right there. And then the G will be baby 2. And then the F will be the mom. So you can maybe visualize it that way. So we're going to work with baby 1 right now. Okay, so baby 1 is the h of x. What is the h of x equation? That h of x equation is this equation right here, x minus 1. So let's replace baby 1 with x minus 1. Now you're going to focus on baby 2, which is g of x minus 1. So what that means is every time you look at the equation g, which is 2x, you're going to replace that x with the x minus 1. So it's going to be a 2 parentheses x minus 1. I know it's like a slightly confusing. I get it. But then you can also simplify that by distributing that 2 to make it into a 2x minus 2. Okay, now we're done with baby 2. We're now going to focus in on the mom, okay? Mom is the F, which means you're looking at this equation right here with F that I'm boxing in red. F equation is x squared plus 2. So wherever you see an x right here in the F equation, you're going to replace it with 2x minus 2. So you have 2x minus 2 squared plus 2. And you guessed it, you're going to have to FOIL that. I'm sorry. When we FOILed this last time, you would have to rewrite it. So you have 2x minus 2 times 2x minus 2. And if you FOIL it, first you will get a 4x squared. That's your F. Outer is going to be a negative 4x. Inner is a negative 4x. So your O and I together will be a negative 8x. And then your last is negative 2 times negative 2, which is a positive 8. So you'll get a 4x squared minus 8x plus 8. But then don't forget your 2. Now you can combine the 8 and the 2 together, which will then result in 4x squared minus 8x plus 10. And that is your answer for this. I know it's a little bit confusing because you have to put like, a lot of them in the right process, but it will get easier as we practice more with this. I promise you guys. But if you like little puzzles like this and you feel like this is something that you can do, you might want to consider next year going to pre-calculus and trigonometry. It's the highest level of math that you can for you guys in your senior year. Granted, the highest when you go is calculus, but this is like the second highest. So yeah, so go into pre-calculus and trigonometry, and it's with Mr. Cornejo. He's actually a really nice guy. He's actually a former student, and he graduated from Huck High School. And so he decided to go to UNR, pursue a degree in mechanical engineering. And then, when he graduated and he started working as a mechanical engineer, he was like, I don't really think this is something I want to do. And I'm like, well, go get your teaching degree and I'll go ahead and hire you and I'll bring you back to Huck High School. And then you can work, here at Huck and help with the kids. And so that's who he is. But he'll be the pre-calculus teacher next year over at the new high school. So if that's something you want to do, challenge yourself and go to a more difficult class. All right. So now that we're done with this, I'm gonna have you guys flip it over to the other side. Oh, thank you for opening that. All right, so you guys have 10 questions right here. And what I want you guys to do is, you might want to grab the paper right here, my dear. You can go ahead and work on, have you guys work on 1, 2, and 3. So work on those 3 first, and then I'm gonna go over number 4 with you guys in a second, okay? So for those of you guys at home, go ahead and pause the video and work on the first 3. Let's go and take a look at question number 4. Okay, so for question number 4, it says if z of x equals 5 and g of x equals this crazy fraction, find z of g or zog. So you're looking for the z of g of 2000. So we're looking at z of g of 2000. So that's what we're looking for number 4. Okay. Well, we're first going to work with the inside, which is a g of 2000, and you're going to plug it into the g equation. So whenever you look and you find a x, you replace that x with 2000. And your g of x is equal to x equals 2. So then, or is it x minus 2? I don't really understand what that says. Let's just assume it says x minus 2 because it looks like an equal, but I'm assuming it's a minus. So then it'll just be 2000, replacing the x, minus 2 divided by 2. All right, well, what that is 2000 minus 2 is 1998 divided by 2. And if you have your calculator, you can just use your scientific calculator. You can divide it, or you can divide it in your head if you want, if you're like super duper smart and can do that. So 1998 divided by 2. Oops, 1998. Oh my gosh, come on, work. Divide by 2. It's gonna give you 999. So this is 999. Now you have z of 999 equals, so now we're going to work on the mom, which is on the outside of this, and then z is equal to just 5. Do you see how there's no x on the z equation? If there's no x, you don't replace anything because there's no x. So what is your answer? It's just 5. So that one's a little bit tricky, okay? All right, now let's take a look at number 5. So number 5 is also a little bit weird. So I'm gonna go over that one with you guys so that way you get a better understanding and you don't have to be confused about it. Okay. Set this problem up. Okay, so for number 5, this is what it asks. It says ax equals 3x and b of x equals that little fraction. What do you guys notice? All right, so let's go ahead and find the first one right here, which is this piece right here in orange. And that one is a of b of 1. So we're going to start with the inside b of 1, okay? And what that means is you look at the b, I'm going to put a right there and leave a space. B of 1 means that whenever you see an x in the b equation, you're going to replace it with a 1. You might want to grab that worksheet right there. So that's going to be 1 over 3 times x, and your x is just going to be 1. So 3 times 1 is just 3. So it's just 1 over 3. Now let's work on the mom, which is on the outside. So a of 1 over 3 is equal to, where is the a equation? This one here in the red rectangle. And that's 3x. So whenever you see an x, you replace that x with 1 over 3. 3 times 1 is a 3 over 3. So your answer is just 1. And that is your first part. But then there's a second part. The second part asks you to look at the green, which is b of a of 1. So it's kind of like the commutative property where they reverse that. So we're going to put b of a of 1. So we're going to start off this one with the a of 1 on the inside, which is the baby. And we're going to look at the a of x equation right here. Anytime you see an x in there, you replace that x with a 1. So 3 times 1 is just 3. So then you have b of 3, and what is that equal to? So you're going to look at your b equation, and wherever there is an x on the b equation, you're going to replace it with a 3. So we have 1 over 3x. So 3 times 3 is a 9. So 1 over 9. And that's it. So that's number 4 and number 5. Those two are a little bit tricky, but I want to make sure I share that with you guys so that way you don't, make the same mistakes. All right, so now I'm going to have you guys continue working on this. We're done with 4 and 5, and I'll have you guys move on to number 6, 7, and 8. So go ahead and work on those. All right, you guys, so to end the day, I have a Padlet board right there. So for those of you guys who are with me in person, go ahead and go to the QR code on your cell phone or your iPads. I'm going to go over the article with you guys, but just to have you guys see if you can get there first, and then we'll go over the questions I want you guys to respond to. So if you need an iPad, I have several of them right here, so feel free to grab them. Okay, so as you guys know, the cost of living is getting very, very expensive here in Reno. Reno is no longer like a cheap place to live. So, I was curious, like if you have $500,000 in saving, how long will that last among retirement for each state? Obviously, some states cost more to retire than others. So I was curious, like, where does Nevada fall into? So this is basically what it is. The pondering question is, how much do I need to retire? There is never a one size fits all answer. What one person could happily live on, another person might be very unhappy with. Although the conventional wisdom suggests that having a retirement nest at least $1 million before you retire. And that's a really difficult number to achieve in America because I feel like people just don't save their money as much as they should. Okay, so I'm gonna say let's do $500,000. So $500,000. Okay, so how much will that last? The number one state that will last the least number in is in Hawaii. The annual expenditure to live in Hawaii is $95,000. So you might be able to say, retire there 5 years and then your $500,000 gone. After that, the second most expensive place to live is New York, followed by California, followed by Oregon, then Massachusetts. I was really shocked that Alaska was really expensive to live in. I thought Alaska, it wouldn't be as much, but apparently it is. Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island. So then I thought, where are the least expensive states to retire in? And so I scrolled down over here, and that is going to be Mississippi. Annual expenditure in Mississippi is about $40,000. Next, it's Kansas, second least expensive, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Alabama, New Mexico, Tennessee. And so I'm like, where is Nevada? Like Nevada is probably like somewhere in between there. And Nevada is right, which I can't find. Hold on, right here. So in Nevada, it's about annual expenditure of $52,000 to retire here. So we actually are more expensive than New Hampshire, Delaware, Colorado, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Arizona, Minnesota, South Dakota, Florida. So Nevada is somewhere right there in the middle. So my question for you guys is going to be the following 4 questions. After reading the article, how long $500,000 lasts in each state? Which state do you think is the most expensive to live in? Number 2, which state is the least expensive? Number 3, based on the cost factors, which states will you most likely go to? And then what are your plans for your weekend? So those are your 4 questions.